Okay, welcome everybody. It's lovely to see you and thank you for being here. Uh, Lovely to have you on board. So I'm just doing 30 minutes originally. It's almost 10 past now. So I might just do the 20 minutes just so that it's a short, like little snippet of information for you, you know, just about self-love and self-care. I'm very into this. It's something that really helped me in my journey when I was lost and down and anxious. And what I would like to say about anxiety is that I didn't realize I was an anxious person. I didn't realize I had anxiety. In my mind, a person who was anxious is a person who walks around with their head down and they're biting their nails and their foot is shaking. That's what I thought anxiety was. So I didn't realize that I was under stress. I didn't realize I was going through a lot. And so that's why I'm so glad I have the oils, because now I understand that we consistently need self-care, we consistently need the self-love, and we consistently need the self-belief. Because most of the time our brain is telling us otherwise. And we often go down into a spiral where I'm not doing well enough, I'm not good enough, I should be here, I should be there, I should be this, that, and the other. So with yoga and essential oils, mindfulness, meditation, mantra, any of those beautiful modalities that you can bring into your life, they work only when you do them daily. So it's not going to make a big difference in your life if you're saying one affirmation once a day, or several affirmations once a week. So it might help you there and then, but your mind is so persistent and consistent and so on the same roller coaster, it's not going to change your mind. Okay, so you have affirmations. It's the same with yoga. I do have people who come to yoga once a week, but everybody who does it more than once a week tells me it makes a huge difference in their life. So once a week, yes, it's beneficial. But when they miss that once a week, they feel like they're gone back. They really feel like they've taken a step back. More than once a week helps more. Makes sense, really. Essential oils, it's the same thing. We need to use these daily. If you're not using them daily, you're not going to create a habit of using them on a regular basis that is part of who you are, part of your life. So the self-love and the self-care is something that you do daily because the mind is telling you otherwise daily, momentarily. Every single moment of the day, the mind is going, churning, churning, churning. And we listen to it, right? So if you think of me, myself, and I, three aspects of ourselves. Maybe one is me, mind. Maybe one is myself, my body. And I, maybe, is the soul. You could think of it that way. Maybe one of those is the negative mind. And we need to have something to turn it around, turn it around. Mood goes down then. Essential oils can lift the mood. So here I have peppermint. I just had a feeling I wanted to use peppermint. I was just saying it to Erin, who was there earlier, still there. Just breathing in and breathing out. Once you breathe in and breathe out, maybe one is enough to just give you an instant, oh my goodness. But if you do it 2 or 3 times, even better. Do I use this once a day? No. The peppermint is used, I would say, 5 or 6 times a day, maybe more. Because every day I want to freshen my breath. I don't want to just freshen my breath once a week. So this is really handy if you want to freshen your breath, but you don't have time to brush your teeth. You can also gargle with this. So if you want to just gargle with this, which I did today, a little bit of warm water, gargle your mouth, and spit it out. Okay, so self-love and self-care and self-belief. You need the self-love and the self-care to have the self-belief and the self-acceptance, so important. I have 3 beautiful oils here I'd like to talk to you about. One is called Passion. It is a blend. Well, actually, it's also a 5 ml. But sorry, it's not a. Yes, it is a blend. It's a blend. Okay, passion. Definitely an oil for self-care and self-love. What do I do with this oil? I put it on my wrists and I breathe it in. I often put it on the back of my neck. I sometimes will wear it as a perfume on the back of my ear. That's the beautiful thing about high quality, good, pure essential oils. You can wear them as a perfume. We're already spending a fortune on perfume, but imagine spending that fortune on an essential oil, which probably smells better, but it's also doing something for you. This is a perception that I would love, this change of the perception over the expensive perfumes. And investing in something can help your body and your soul and your emotions to heal. Okay. Where else do I put it? Soles of the feet, lower back sometimes. Passion. So I'm going to be doing a workshop actually on this called Find Your Passion. It will be based mostly around this and other oils that are self-love and self-care and self-belief. The other one I want to talk about is balance. This balance blend is amazing. It is absolutely fantastic for you if you're if you're having cramps. If you're a woman who's having period cramps, this is beautiful. One of my yoga students just texts me and says, this is a miracle for her cramps. It is also really good for helping you through it. Your menopause, your perimenopause, menopause helps to ease how you're feeling. I put it down here just on my navel, just here, and rub it in. It is so, so good. And therefore, this is also smells absolutely divine, God. Breathe in and breathe out. That's the simplest thing you can do, is open the bottle and breathe it in and breathe out. Let's do it again. Inhale and exhale. That's the simplest. The next thing is putting it on the wrist. People often say, can I put one on top of the other? Yes, absolutely you can. I don't usually put balance on top of passion. Usually I might put one on, but my balance mostly goes on my, around my solar plexus or my sacral chakra, the navel. That's where I mostly put it. But the soles of the feet is great too, because the soles of the feet, the pores are bigger. This balance oil is incredible to help oxygenate blood in your body. So that's self-love. You're loving and helping the cells in your body. There is a beautiful video, I've spoken about this before, but I'll talk about it again, about what happens when this balance oil is put on somebody's feet. It's a doTERRA video and a doTERRA experiment, if you like. They showed the blood cells. So the blood cells before the balance is used, they're all clumped up together. The energy doesn't look great. They're all clumped up. They're all in one place. Doesn't look great. This is put on, and whether it's 30 seconds later or a minute later, the video shows all the cells parting, but floating around and dancing. And it's good. You can intuitively tell that this is good. That is self-love and self-care. The self-love and self-care and belief, I feel that the belief is a big thing with doTERRA. Because in the beginning, people believe that they can't get doTERRA with regards to affording them, right? Then they start using them. They get the self-love, the self-care, the self-belief, and the passion for the oils. And then they start purchasing them on a regular basis. I can afford. I do believe that I can. It gives you the belief about the oils and yourself. So that's a beautiful thing, to be able to turn around the mindset around abundance and having enough. That's the balance oil. I'll just only say a few things on each one because this is a mini class. And now we have the peppermint. Forgive, actually, funnily, it wasn't forgive I was going to talk about, but seeing as it's here, I will talk about it. We all could do with forgiving ourselves. So as far as self-belief is concerned, and definitely self-care, Forgive is a great one for that, because it's helping you to forgive yourself of these limiting beliefs. What are limiting beliefs? The limiting beliefs are beliefs that we have from our childhood mostly, where we don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe we can maybe afford the oils. I don't believe I'll use them. I don't believe I can learn about them, etc. So maybe there's something else that you'd like to forgive. Something. I think one thing that's really good to forgive yourself on is, I remember when I was younger, I would say things I really felt stupid for afterwards. And your mind just clings, because when you're younger, teenagers, 20s, 30s, whatever, it's just the mind clings to it, and you're so stupid, and you're so, oh my God, how could you say that? And it just goes over and over and over, So what do? You can't go into a room during work and do 10 sun salutations, or even 3. Should help you through that. You can't sit down and meditate for 5 or 10 minutes. If you can't do your breathing exercise for 5 minutes, start using the essential oils. The Forgive is absolutely stunning blend to help you to forgive yourself. Absolutely gorgeous. Where would you put that on? The liver is a good place, because the liver is known as where we may hold anger. So if you're being hard on yourself, that's the liver really. So just put it on your tummy, your belly, anywhere you'd like to put it on. Again, this one can be used the back of the neck. Get it into the amygdala here in the back of the neck, and just breathe it in and breathe it out. So let's do this again. Breathe in, breathe out. Oh, beautiful. So beautiful. So that's forgive. Self-care, once again, it's a daily habit. It is something that takes practice. It is something that you tune into, that you want to cultivate in your life. And, when I first got doTERRA, I didn't realize really that at the time that this was about self-care, self-love, and self-belief, I got them really because I had been to an amazing class, and my dad had cancer. And that was really the reason I got them. Can they help cancer? Now, she didn't say they can cure cancer, but she did say they can help. What did they help my dad with? Self-belief. And at times there was a lot of self-care, but there was definitely a connection and a bond created between myself and my dad because of the application of the oils on his hands, on his scalp, the crown of his head, back of the neck, putting them on his feet. And that's self-care and connection. That's connection, And I was just talking to a friend there before this class, and she was in A&E with her dad 14 hours. He'd had a minor stroke, which my mum has had before. When that happens with my mum or my dad in the past, before my dad passed, the oils in A&E are amazing. You have something to give them. You have something to do. You have something to smell. Because you're waiting a long time. It's just, or you'll probably get into a trolley bed and into the second part of A&E where there's cubicles and you have the curtain. But it's, long. But it's always a bonding time, I found. And I always found it's also a time to bring you into the present moment, because you can't go anywhere. You have to stay there. You want to be there. If you let go and surrender to it. Okay. So that is a beautiful thing that happens when you start using doTERRA essential oils. Daily habits, every day, you become a healer. You're giving them to family members. You're telling friends, but you're the healer. You're using them with our hands. We all have healing through our hands. All children have it, because that's what they're still vibrating that love. That's why we feel amazing around them, because they've got that particles of love lying around. Okay, so because these are here, I'm going to talk about these as well. These are doTERRA essential oil supplements, food supplements with vitamins, minerals, plant substances, live bacterial cultures. I mean, that's amazing. Enzymes, amino acids, fructooligosaccharides, coenzyme Q10, and essential oils of sweetener. That's just the synopsis of what's in here, okay? But to have live bacterial cultures in there that you don't have to, if there's a probiotic in there, so you don't have to go and get a separate probiotic. This is your daily drink of nutritions. It's a powdered version, which would have taken a long time to put together. A lot of people experimenting how to get all these supplements in a powder, beautiful, pure powder form, so you can have a daily drink. And we already do, doTERRA already do the supplements in the way they're usually done, tubs, little jars, little tubs. Now this has been created, and it's absolutely phenomenal. The sweetener is very nice. It's a holistic sweetener. Like it's not a spoonful of sugar, or a commercial sweetener. So I pretty much do this every day. Sometimes I'll do a half. Sometimes I'll do a quarter. Sometimes I'll do just a sprinkle or two into a drink. So, it's absolutely amazing. This is how I get my nutrients into my mum, for example. I give her a glass of this, a full glass or a quarter of a glass, whatever. So you just put the water in. The best thing to do is kind of shake it up and have it maybe blend it a little bit, because it gives it a little bit more of a froth, and it looks much more appetizing, I find. So if you do that. Anyway, this is phenomenal if anybody wants to learn about these. My goodness. You haven't got time to chop up your kale, your spinach, your friggin' get your goji berries, your friggin' pomegranates, and everything else that goes in here to get all your vitamins all there magically in that. Plus, it's as high quality and pure as the essential oils. And there's essential oils in here. How did they do it? It's phenomenal. Okay, so that's the doTERRA nutrients. These are for daily, to get yourself into a habit of drinking it daily. What I find with doTERRA is, I've said this before, and I think it's absolutely worth it to repeat. And I think when we repeat things, it goes in. I don't leave doTERRA on the shelf. I don't buy supplements and they're left. Now, there are supplements in my kitchen that aren't doTERRA, and they are sitting there. Some of them are sitting there. Some of them I've gone through because I wanted to, but some of them are definitely sitting there. The doTERRA ones aren't. There's something about the doTERRA that it's the vibration. You want to use them. And this is a 30-day, 30 sachets. So you want to go through them in 30 days, or maybe you want to do 2 months of it. Usually I'll go through more, 30 days, maybe half, but I usually give my mother the other half. So there's ways you can do it. But you want to get through your 30-day supply. So but you buy something in the health store, you're not going to have that initiative, most likely. I mean, some people do, but most of us don't. That initiative and that discipline to go through supplements. Then the amount of supplements that are in there, a packet of this, a packet of that, a jar of this, a jar of that, jars and jars and packets could be everywhere when you've got it all in here. Okay? That's the point I want to make. doTERRA, daily habits, creating daily habits is amazing for you with regards to taking care of yourself, daily healthy habits, and creating that daily ritual where you're using them and they become second nature to you. These help my mother so much. So much. Now, there's actually one other one here. There's 2 more things I have here. Actually, I may as well mention them as they're here. I will do another class on these alone. This is the MetaPower, capsules. MetaPower Assist. They're very good for the metabolism. And I know, I for sure know, and I understand you might be saying, oh, but you said just this. But I'm going to tell you about this anyway. And yes, I was overwhelmed as well in the beginning. I was. Do we take that? We take that. There's just so many. Okay. I have this, but I'm not doing it every single day. Probably maybe every 3 days. But it does help the metabolism. The other thing that and I have said this before too, I really honestly do feel, and I know from my own experience, that if we're not doing these daily and we don't splash out in these, we will go into a supplement shop, a health store, pharmacy, and we will pick things up. We will also see an ad for something on Instagram or somewhere else in social media and buy, because that's the impulse. But if you're buying these on a monthly basis, you're sorted. You know where your health and well-being and supplements are coming from. You know where your self-care is coming from. You've disciplined and you've dedicated yourself to it. And you know, you don't have to go and try something that somebody else is hyping up about. So I'll give you an example. My mum has seen something advertised several times on YouTube for her eyes. And, you know, it's marketed as the be all and end all for macular degeneration or cataracts, or your eyes. So I looked at the ingredients. So I've compared them to what doTERRA has. And I'm like, Mum, all these ingredients are already in doTERRA. They're already in what I'm giving you. So I have written it out and I've got to go back and show it to her. Because she sees the ad and she wants to get them, you know? So that is what happens. We will spend €100. We will spend €150 on stuff we see spontaneously. I think my point has been made. These are fantastic if you decide to go on a monthly, buy it monthly. Okay, I'm just going to talk a little bit about this one because it's here and I put it on today and it's really so beautiful. And maybe in the first day I didn't feel it was beautiful because sometimes your mood is different, your body chemistry is different. But I put it on today and I was like, oh my goodness, that is incredible. But what's interesting is it's juniper berry. And I ended up getting 6 of them by mistake. Or was it 4? There's definitely 4. I think there's 6. Anyway, because a second order came and I hadn't changed the order and I got 2 more. But sometimes you end up with what you need, you know. So anyway, I have tinnitus and my tinnitus got worse. Looked it up. What's the oil for tinnitus? Juniper berry. Okay. So what I do is I just put it behind the ear lobe, back there, put it on the lobe there a little bit. And you can put it inside a little bit, not into the ear canal, just around there. And they also say to bring it down here. I haven't been doing that a lot, actually. So, of course, I was skeptical because it's recently gotten quite loud, louder than it has been. So I noticed in the last few nights, it's definitely not as loud as it was, because what I was doing was I was putting music on to fall asleep. And then I thought, oh, let's just try without the music for a change, go back to the breath. And it's worked the last few, maybe 3 or 4 nights. So I would say I'm using this a month. I didn't do it every single day, but I was nearly every single day, because there was days I would have forgotten it or I was busy, and there was days where I couldn't find it. That's an issue. Not being able to find, always an issue if you're not very, very organized person. But you just have to laugh, because it used to frustrate me so much. But I've turned that around, changed my perspective. I'm just laughing now. So before we go, I'm going to tell you something else funny from today. My friend was here for yoga this morning. She stayed over, and her little dog. And we decided to give a little spring clean to my mum's bedroom. In the bedroom, we found a little cloth, a little kind of friggin' cotton thing wrapped up with a knot in it. 6 essential oils in there. Totally forgotten because Mum said, I'd like to have the oils in one place so I know it's not going to work because it's a habit you haven't created. So you're not going to remember that the oils are wrapped up in a little cotton, whatever it was, piece of material with a knot. I don't know where they were. Anyway, my friend found them. 6 oils were in there. 2 lemons, 1 juniper berry, On Guard, copaiba, and peppermint. I was like, this is where the oils are that we're missing. But I still have 2 missing. I have a full balance oil missing, and I have a what's the name of it? Missing. I hope that sometimes they turn up very unexpectedly, and it's so fun when they do turn up. It's absolutely amazing. I'll give you one little story on that. Years ago, I was teaching a class in the town near me, Drogheda, and I used to always use peppermint oil or another oil during the class or after the class. And a week later, I went in and there was the peppermint oil sitting on the floor. And I felt it was a miracle because the amount of people that go in and out of that venue, like there's lots of events in there, nighttime events, daytime events, lots of people. And there it was, just sitting on the floor where the yoga teacher was a week earlier. So, you know, I really do feel that the oils, you can have so much fun with them and get well with them and have a daily habit, something for self-love and self-care and self-belief. All right. So that is almost 30 minutes. So we started at 10 past, didn't we? Yeah. So just thank you for listening. Thank you for any questions. If anybody is there, if you'd like to ask a question, please do. And thanks, Erin. If not, yogawithgro.com is my website. At Yoga with Gro is my Instagram, but highly recommend joining my email list. You know, if you want to follow me on Instagram or here on YouTube, absolutely please do. But keeping it simple, join the email list so you get information about classes, events, workshops, and how to get your oils and come into other classes. Namaste. I hope that this class supports you and you learn from it. And I'm excited to hear from you. And I'm very excited for somebody who hasn't heard this before or has heard it maybe for the second or third time and is ready to buy and invest in yourself and your well-being, your self-love, your self-care, and your self-belief. Okay? Namaste. Take care of yourself. Love to hear from you. And make comment. Please leave a comment below.